Why do I have two?
Huh? I scooted that over. So it didn't block.
Thought it looked strange.
And LSU will be home tomorrow, right? Yeah.
It reverts to that, yeah.
And of course, comes down to one thing. That picture below somebody the power ball from.
What?
It's Wyatt and BT. Because I think the last one said it's BT. Sorry.
Not Jack?
No, not Jack.
Okay. Well,
I'm just gonna switch.
yep.
Thank you. Huh? Thank you. Yep.
You got my 100-yard dash today.
Hey, get players up. Remind you, as a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the news conference. Recording this press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. And if you're joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We'll address questions from the room first and then take questions from Zoom as time permits. Sully, give us an overview, please.
Well, it was obviously well-played game. We got off to a tough start on the mound. We ran into a lot of offensive counts, but Brandon was able to pitch his way out of it. Obviously, his pitch count got up there. I thought Cade came in and did an outstanding job. Obviously, he made that one mistake on the 0-2 count, but other than that, he pitched great. And I thought Brandon pitched great. Came down to one pitch. Offensively, we struck out 20 times tonight. They only walked 2. I just think our swings were a little bit big tonight, and we've handled the moment really well tonight. Offensively, I think we kind of got caught up in it a little bit, and that kind of resulted in the strikeouts. But with that being said, we got Hurston going tomorrow, and we'll do everything we can to win tomorrow and force a game 3. That's simple.
Okay, we'll open up for questions for the student athletes first. Please raise your hand. We'll get a hand mic to you and tell us who you're directing the question to. We'll start with Kevin.
Yeah, question for either hitter. What made Floyd so tough tonight in your mind in terms of his stuff?
I mean, I think he's just a great pitcher in general. He has a fastball that kind of plays like it rides a little bit with an induced vertical break. It's a lower slot. The shadow isn't the easiest thing at the beginning of the game either. I think it got shown for both teams in the first couple innings. But, yeah, he's a great pitcher that went out there and threw it really well tonight. What else could you ask for a guy in the College World Series giving you a bunch of really good innings and limited their bullpen use tonight. So they played a great game.
Wyatt?
Yeah, pretty much what BT said. He's a really good pitcher as it is, and tonight was just his night, and that's just kind of how it went about, and that's just what it was, I guess.
Okay, next question. Yeah, Matt.
Matty Ramirez, White and Blue Review, BT. I saw you shaking your head when Sully was going through the walk to strikeout ratio. What did you feel like was so frustrating about the at-bats tonight? Aside from Floyd, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody just didn't have their night. Your best players have to play the best when it matters the most to win games and like this. It's one pitch that completely changes the game, obviously. Tonight was a perfect example of that. And, they just won way too many pitches or more pitches than we won tonight. And sadly, that's the name of the game sometimes. But, all we can do is move on to tomorrow and, like Sully said, try to force a game 3.
Okay. Well, Kevin again.
Wyatt, I'm curious your thoughts, your emotions in the bottom of the 10th when you hit that line drive. It looked like it was, maybe going over the left fielder's head. Did you think it had a shot, and how tough was that, for him to make that catch?
Yeah, I knew I hit the ball good. I just hit it right at him. So obviously that sucks, and it's probably something I'll never forget looking back on it. But that's just baseball, really. You can hit the ball as hard as you can, but sometimes it just goes right at him. So that's just part of it.
Okay, Brandon.
Brendan Prizeman, Omaha World Herald. BT, you've caught for Brandon Sproat for a couple of years now. What can you say about his mentality tonight and how he was able to get out of a lot of those jams in the early innings?
Well, I think he had to get out of a lot of jams, like Sully said, because we got in a lot of deeper counts, and there are a bunch of really good hitters that don't like to strike out and like to get themselves in advantage counts and do damage, and that's exactly what they did. So it didn't really play into our favor that we weren't getting ahead of guys. But yeah, whenever Sproat got in jams like that, he kind of pulled himself together and made some pitches when it mattered the most, but ran up his pitch count really fast, and he was out after 4 innings. So that didn't really play into our plan. But yeah, I guess he got out of jams when he had to.
Okay, Joe.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. BT, how much of an advantage do you feel like it is for your club? You get to come back with Waldrop tomorrow, just given how well he's thrown for y'all lately.
Yeah, well, anytime that guy gets on the mound is a great advantage for us. Ultimately, we have to go out and execute. I think execution is the most important thing right now. You can throw out all the talent. You can throw out everything else. All that matters right now is if you execute and make the pitch when it matters. Or the at-bat when it matters, or the defensive play when it matters, because if you don't, you're going to lose to good teams like LSU. So, yeah, we have to go out tomorrow and attack and bring the game to them, and that's all we can do.
We have time for one more question if anybody wants to take it. Kevin, just beat you.
Yeah, for either player, just mindset going into tomorrow, and how do you feel about having Hurston on the mound?
What?
Yeah, like BT just said, anytime Hurston gets on the mound, we know we have a really good chance to win. So, obviously we're trying to flush tonight and just come in tomorrow ready to play.
BT?
Can't dwell on tonight. It's in the past. We've been in this position before where our back was up against the wall and we're taking punches and we got to throw some back. So it's a matter of us going out there and attacking and playing our best baseball. And if we don't, then, that's just how it rolls. But we're going to do everything in our power to play our best baseball tomorrow and force a game 3 on Monday.
Okay. Guys, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow. Okay, we'll have questions for Sully now. And somebody. Okay, Matt.
Michael Farrar with Berg Sports Network. Coach, BT just mentioned, can't dwell on the moment. For a guy to say something like that for a leader, how confident are you and your senior leaders to flush and move on?
Yeah, I think it's hard right now. Once they get back to the hotel, take a shower, get something to eat. But we will have them ready to play tomorrow. And this team has shown fight the entire year. We've had a situation in the regionals. We had to win 3 in a row, and we're able to do that. We're going to need some other guys to step up in the pen, but we certainly feel confident that they will. We've got a bunch of guys that have not even stepped on the mound yet, but they'll be ready to play tomorrow.
Okay, Matt.
There wasn't much contact made, even just to stay alive in counts against Ty tonight. What did you see in the type of at-bats that you guys had against him?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. We had a game plan coming in, and, he threw good. I mean, it's really that simple. But from our standpoint, when you look back, there were some swings with 2 strikes that were maybe a little bit too big, swings that we hadn't taken in the past or in a while. But I thought we took some fastballs on the outer half of the plate early in the count to get us behind the count. He threw just enough breaking balls to keep us off his fastball. And we chased a bunch of up fastballs, and he pitched really good. But like in games like this, it comes down to 1 at-bat, 1 pitch. And I'm looking at, they walked 2 guys in 11 innings. We walked 8, and, it's part of it. It wasn't our best night, but we played 11 innings and lost by a pitch on a 1-0 count. And, we didn't play our best baseball, but the message tomorrow is, we got nothing to lose at this point. We're in the College World Series and playing in the finals. We lost by a run. Everybody's disappointed, but we can't let this leak into tomorrow.
Okay, Kevin.
Coach, I'm curious about your thoughts about the bullpen tonight pitching you in extra innings. I mean, they had to go 7. Just your thoughts on maybe some of the performances, and then bringing Cade back out to start the 8th. You were just looking for another inning from him.
Yeah, I mean, he was throwing them all good. I mean, it's 1 pitch. I mean, when you strike out 5 over 3 1/3, walk nobody, it's 1 pitch on 0-2 count. That there's no one feels worse than he does. But it's our job to make sure he's focused tomorrow. I mean, that's part of the game. It's just sometimes it comes down to 1 pitch. But Cade knows what he's doing. We wouldn't be here without him right now. So, yeah, we'll boost up his spirits tomorrow and get him ready to go.
Okay, Brendan.
Brendan Preisman, Omaha World Herald. Coach, you mentioned needing more guys to step up out of the bullpen. Obviously, Sproat didn't go maybe as deep into the game as you would want him to, only 4 innings pitched, but 3rd straight game with 100-plus pitches. What does it mean to you that you've got an experienced guy like that that's able to bounce back out of jams and keep that pitch count up and going as late into the game as possible?
You talking about Hurston?
No, about Sproat tonight, managing to get out of some of those jams early in the game, and even though his pitch count was up, stay in the game as long as he could.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is he left and kept us close, within 1 swing of the bat. Certainly hoped to have gone deeper in the game, but the other guys did pick him up. Like I said, it came down to when you lose games by 1 run or win games by 1 run, it comes down to one this or that. But in this situation, there was quite a few things that led to us to this point right now. So, we've had a lot of good fortune, and the ball that Wyatt hit, if it's over his head or 5 more feet to the left or right, we're in a different position. But, it is what it is. We got outplayed tonight, but our job is to make sure these guys are ready to go tomorrow.
Okay, we have time for one last question. And if not, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. You got it. See you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.
I want to remind you that Hammond Communications posts a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP, and they will be posted shortly.
We're good. Good? Yep.
Yeah. Good to see you again. Okay, once those of you just coming in, please silence your cell phones and all the other things that I always say. Jay, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, great college baseball game. Two best teams in the country. A ton of execution by both teams from the mound. Great defensive plays. Really good quality at bats. Ty was outstanding tonight. Really hard to put into words what that performance meant, for the outcome of the game and for our team. I think the eighth inning was the turning point, getting through the eighth, sending him back out there against their best hitters and striking out the side was amazing. Riley obviously did what Riley's done here and executed at a high level. Really proud of him for getting through that first and second one out. I believe it was in the 10th with Langford and Caglione. And then offensively, I think we did a lot of things right. I mean, getting Sproat out before the fifth inning was a good job by our team. He's going to be a high draft pick, and we executed really well there. Hit into tough luck with the bases loaded there with Tommy lining to third base. I thought that was a good at bat. Sproat did a nice job wiggling out of it where we might have been able to add some on early. But we just stayed with it, and Tommy and Cade getting those swings were outstanding. So, on to tomorrow.
Okay, let's open it up for questions for the student athletes. And I saw Koki first.
Cade, I was talking to Trey after the game, and he said the first time I met you was after a high school football game. Do you remember that interaction at all, and what's your relationship sort of like with Trey?
Yeah, first and foremost, he's one of my best friends, and, someone, even though he's younger than me, I admire him. I kind of look up to him, just, the way he goes about his business. He's so strong mentally. He's going to play professional baseball for so long, and he's one of the best first basemen I've ever seen, and maybe college baseball's ever seen. But I do remember that about football. We mess with him all the time that we used to pick on 1-9. We, by high school, didn't throw the ball often, but Trey was a cornerback, and we would go after him every time.
That's nice. Leah?
Leah Van, Baton Rouge Advocate. Cade, can you just take us through that last at-bat and what you were seeing at the plate?
Yeah, you got to give credit to Brandon Neely first. He's unbelievable, and he's one of the best pitchers in the country, and he has a great fastball. My prior at bat, he struck me out on 3 straight heaters, so I figured he was going to go back to that. It was not pretty, and then the first pitch blew by me again, so I knew he was coming back with it. They weren't going to switch anything up, and finally got one that I was supposed to swing at and put a good swing on it.
Okay, right over here.
Matt Talvini from World Baseball Network. Tying the NCAA College World Series strikeout record with 17 strikeouts tonight. What's it like to just have a guy like Alex Milazzo be such a good catcher behind the dish for the course of the season?
Yeah, Alex has been great for us all year. I know This is actually the first time Alex caught me in a couple weeks and stuff, but he came up and like he's caught me all year and stuff. He was able to steal me some pitches tonight, able to block some balls out when I needed it and stuff. But also I know that other teams are threatened by his arm, so I know that runners don't run as much on him.
Okay, Michael first.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge, staying with Ty. Just what was working tonight? Looked like the fastball had a lot of rise on it. You kept going to it. What did you feel out there? Kind of short rest for you, but obviously your best performance.
Yeah, I mean, I felt good. I felt with as many people as were here tonight, the adrenaline felt good and stuff. But I just knew that throwing my fastball at the top of the zone and being able to mix in off-speed pitches enough to be able to get them off was the biggest key for the night.
Wilson?
Ty, kind of sticking with that theme, in your last start, you were rolling up until the sixth inning. Was there anything that you changed between starts in order to then be able to do what you did, kind of keep it going deeper into a game?
I don't think so. I think it was just staying mentally strong about it, just knowing that my stuff's going to play, and just having confidence in myself and knowing what I do well.
Okay, Matt.
Matty Marinas, White and Blue Review. Ty, how did you shake off the go-ahead home run by BT and just get right back to mowing them down?
I just know that my stuff was going to play. I know that he put a really good swing on a good fastball and stuff, so you got to tip your cap. But I knew that I got a great offense behind me that's going to back me up and get the game back on the game.
I'm going to go with Glenn right here and then Michael.
Yeah, Glenn Wesco, 247. Cade, I mean, you guys offensively were getting on base and having a lot of opportunities. It just didn't kind of capitalize there in the first part of the game. Just how do you guys stay, I guess, mentally in there when you know that you're having success but just not seeing it in terms of the run scored and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, baseball's a tough game, and, when runners get on, that's when pitchers tend to make their best pitches, and, that's when they rise to the occasion and, make good pitches and stuff like that. But, I mean, in terms of not getting the job done, no one's freaking out about it. We just got to keep playing the game and, keep putting ourselves in those opportunities, and you just know eventually we're going to come through and, provide our pitchers with run support. But yeah, like I said, baseball's hard, and with bases loaded earlier in the game, Tommy hit one like 110 right at the guy. That's 2 runs right there. So, I mean, it could go either way.
Michael Farrar with Berg Sports Network. Question for Riley and Ty. It just seems like you guys have so much fun. The team chemistry is, up the roof. Can you just kind of talk about the momentum you guys are having and how much fun you guys are having playing together?
Riley?
The chemistry's crazy. Just so fun to be around the guys, and what better place to be. And so we're just having a blast doing it.
Yeah, I mean, our team chemistry's been amazing all year and stuff. Us pitchers are all really, really close and stuff, and we support each other so much to each other, and we have so much success. We're very happy for them when they have a lot of success.
Matt.
Matt Towery, World Baseball Network. Riley, what's it like to have a guy like Josh Pearson step up in a big moment with that catch in the 10th inning?
I mean, that's sweet. That's what I'm talking about with just filling up the strike zone and trusting my defense. And I completely trust him, and he saved me out there. And, I'll just continue to fill up the strike zone.
Leah?
This question's for Riley, and then I have another one for Ty. Riley, just wanted to know, what was your reaction to watching Ty strike out guy after guy, inning after inning? And Ty, you haven't been a guy who shows a lot of emotion on the mound, and I felt like that last strikeout you showed some. So what was going through your mind in that moment?
It was it's awesome to see. I love Ty, and he works really hard, and just to see him do that was amazing, especially here in that game, and especially the emotion fired me up too.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been known for my emotions and stuff, but I feel like when I show my most emotion is when I'm done, when I know I'm done. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I was able to get a little fired up. And plus, I knew the game was tight, and I knew that we had to still win the game.
Okay, right here, Wilson first.
Cade, if I understand correctly, you did not watch the last out. You were back in the batting cage. Why could you not? Why were you back there, I guess?
I was just, one, I had to use the restroom. And then, we got out, and I was like, I'm going to stay back here, and was just like, when you have no control over something, you want something to happen so bad, so you tend to get a little nervous. Not to say I don't trust Riley because he's the man and he does his deal, but I was a little nervous just because, anything can happen in baseball. And I had to pee.
Thanks for asking. Michael, right here, and then we'll go to Jack.
I know the answer to this, but could I get all 3 players to just talk about playing for a national title tomorrow? Obviously, I know you're going to talk about the approach and staying within it, but how do you do that given what's on the line?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't make it anything bigger than it is. It's another baseball game, and we always take the one game at a time, one pitch at a time approach, and that works best for us. So we're going to take the same exact approach, and we know what's at line or what's on the line. You don't need to say it, or it doesn't need to be broadcasted. And the same thing when we were fighting for our season. No one you didn't hear this guy coming and be like, all right, we got to win or we're going home. Like that's not the case. We just want to play baseball. We got to play a good game tomorrow. So that's all we're focused on.
Yeah, it's hard. It's cool to think about and stuff, but when it comes down to it, it's still just baseball, and still going to do the same thing we were doing the whole year because it's been working for us and stick to the approach. But yeah, it's fun to think about. I'm just chilling in my room.
Ty?
I mean, it's something we talked about since the fall. I mean, it's what we wanted to accomplish as a team and stuff, but we know that we still have to take every game at a time. And it was as great as tonight felt and stuff, but we still know we need to get one more done.
Okay, this will be our last question for the players.
Kenny, Jack DeLongshire with Foul Pole. Ken, I got to ask you, man, you battled back from injury. Obviously, you're the heartbeat of this team, a fifth-year guy that's been in Baton Rouge for half a decade now. To kind of be able to ingrain your guys, right? The culture of what it means to be an LSU Tiger, friends and family, obviously, here tonight. You got to walk me through what it means to have that moment with your family tonight.
Gosh, man, I've been here for 5 years. No, I mean, I just love this university so much, and love this, especially this team. There's so many good guys and good people on this team, and some of my best friends. I'm going to talk to them for the rest of my life, and I just love playing baseball with them. I think it's as simple as that. And you ask every guy on the team, and they'll give you the same answer. It's nothing more than that. But yeah, this university is special. I grew up in New Orleans. Wanting to be Mikey Matuk, Ryan Schiff, Jared Mitchell, watching highlights of the 2009 National Championship on repeat on YouTube when I was a kid. And, this means the world. One, just being in Omaha, and two, playing for a national championship.
Okay, thank you. Guys, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Okay, questions? And we'll start with Michael here.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Jay, going with Ty, you've talked all year about he's a winner, et cetera, but obviously the resiliency that he has to limit it, you talked about that as well. Just his performance tonight, what does it mean to you to see it?
Yeah, it's coaching, and what I mean by that is, we need to have a reason to be there. And when you have a guy that's as talented as that, sometimes you just have to get them to the point they understand what they need to do to be successful, give them a path to execute that, and then get them believing in themselves. And that's really all we've tried to do, over 2 years. And, I mentioned he finished the season really strong last year. He was very unselfish at the beginning of this thing. The first 2 weeks of the season, we needed him in the bullpen until we kind of figured out who we were going to be. He did that, helped us get off to a good start there. And, like I said, he's had a terrific season, and nothing better than that tonight. But we're not sitting here in this position without Ty Floyd. I feel like he's one of the most underrated, underappreciated, players in college baseball this year.
Okay. He beat you too. Wilson.
You said there was a specific turning point for you in the eighth inning to send him back out there. What went into that decision?
We had a spot where we thought we would go to Riley, and, it was kind of, we had Guidry down there warming up. I felt like we may get into a lengthy game just with, Neely throwing the ball as well as he was. Those were the two guys we were going to use and go to. And so it was a little bit of a tricky spot. So for him to get two more hitters was a big deal. And then there was no way with the way he pitched to Curlin and Langford. Like it was Caglione was going to be his, and he deserved to finish that inning. And I'm really glad he did. Made some great pitches, and then allowed us to turn the ball over to Riley. I think, striking out the side with those three hitters right there, that's legit. That's pitching at the highest level, especially when he'd emptied the tank to put us in the position he did for the first 7 innings.
Leo.
second game here you've won in extra innings. I just wonder what goes into building that resiliency offensively, especially when things weren't seemingly going y'all's way at the beginning of the night.
Yeah, I think I don't think we look at the game the same way people on the outside of the fence look at the game. I think we're facing a team that's won 53 games this year. We're facing a pitcher, and that's all we've faced here with our bracket. I mean, it's got to be one of the best pitching brackets in College World Series history. Like, we just don't get discouraged. We set the table in I believe it was the second or the third, and Tommy hits the line drive, and then Sproat, made some pitches. I think that was more him than us. I didn't think anybody thought anything of leaving guys on base or any of those types of things. And we got good hitters, and part of what good hitters do is they hit mistakes. And Tommy was in a 2-strike count right there. Fisher left the ball up, and he put a great swing on it. Neely, I don't even know if it was that bad a pitch. I haven't seen Cade's home run, but he was in position to hit on time. He stayed short. He let the pitcher supply the power and put a great swing on it. So I think we're doing what we do. And, in that last inning before he hit the home run, we wanted to get kind of settled back down again. And, if somebody's going to hit a big home run in extra innings, maybe I'll just have the offensive meeting a little sooner because I like that.
Okay. Matt.
Yeah, Jay, you come into these games after we've just been mesmerized by Skeens and Louder, and it feels like Ty has kind of like just flown by, but this is 2 performances now against really, really top-notch offenses where he's looked basically like this the entire time.
Yeah, he's there, and he's. I think it's probably just because of Paul. You know what I mean, and Paul being so out of this world good. Nobody's really paid attention to him, but the pro people are. Like, he's not going to last very long on that draft board, and somebody will be very, very happy with Ty Floyd, and I think he'll pitch for a very long time. And like I mentioned with a couple other of the pitchers in the game on Thursday night, there's a chance for it to be a short arc from Omaha to, a big league stadium for him.
Glenn.
Coach Glenn West, Go 247. Have you ever seen a story that's kind of quite like Cade's? I mean, just in terms of being from the New Orleans area and here for 5 years, and to be just coming up in these big clutch moments. Just, I guess, talk about just that perspective a little bit. Yeah,
I'm really proud of him. I think I mentioned this earlier, and he's had a great tournament, and so we've talked about him a lot. That he didn't have a very good 2021 season, and we needed to shift some things. But my first impressions were him, where he was all about the team. All he wanted to do was be a great player for LSU. He's never mentioned pro baseball one time. It's just, what can I do to help? Whether that's leadership, fix my swing, improve my approach, maybe be able to play some first base. And then he wasn't playing at the beginning of the season because Tommy hurt his shoulder, and so we had to shift the DH position around. And I just kind of had a feeling we would get to our best team. He would be a part of that, and then that was really, really clear. And he never wavered, in any of that. And I tell people all the time, like, him going down last year, that hurt our team dramatically. And I think, if you're paying attention to the College World Series, you can clearly see why.
Okay, Michael.
Obviously, we talked about Kay, but Gavin as well. Just the veteran presence on this team and its ability to see the moment and then stay in it.
Yeah, I think, you have to have two things you have to have more than two things, but you have to have two things to get here and to win here. You have to have future Major League players. That's clear now. Like, nobody is getting here anymore without future Major League players. And you have to have old players that really know what they're doing. And those two guys really know what they're doing. And, the buy-in piece of it to just a new deal. They've made this, for me as a new coach. Like, those two guys have made this situation, program, culture, they're as important as anybody. They don't get talked about the same way, because, you got Dylan, you got Paul, and those guys should be talked about too, because they're leaders and they're special talents. But, when it was 2-0, it's like, okay, yeah, we know who drove in the first 2 runs today, and they're sitting right in that spot in the order for a reason, because I know what I'm going to get in terms of those at-bats.
We have time for one more question for Jay. Matt's hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the catch with Josh because we saw it the other night with Trey. Like, those are game deciders. I mean, when we think about clutchness with pitching and hitting, what do you make of the elite defensive plays you guys have made that have changed games tonight?
Yeah, I think our team is super locked in. I've mentioned this before. Mark Wanaka, who positions our defense, is as good at that as anybody in baseball. Not college baseball, is in baseball. And that's a tough one, and you're chewing on the matchup. Do you bring somebody in for Langford? I mean, he's hitting 390, but I think I'll go with the guy that's pitched here now 6 times. It's just been filling up the zone, and he got the ball down just enough where he couldn't elevate it. And he got it just, either in or off the barrel enough. I can't remember at this point. And Josh was standing where he needed to be, broke back, and made a heck of a play. And he's a good defender. I had somebody ask me, it's like, hey, are you going to kind of keep going with him? He's maybe not swung the bat as well as some other guys here. And it's like, it's not even a thought because I know he's going to walk, he's going to move the offense, and he's going to play great defense in left field. And that was probably the defensive play of the game tonight.
Okay, Jay, thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Gold jerseys tomorrow?
Yes.
We'll see you then.